I feel bad for my man Deoxy changing the goddamn title of this shit. So all right, guys, let's react. Now this video is an hour long. We don't have to listen to it for an hour. We just got to go where we catch him slipping. Okay, and just so he can like have his like, look, he wants people to see this email. This is what he really wants people to see. He wants people to know about this audio. That was Francis' whole like, me and Francis, we do talk before stream. Okay, so I knew the email and I knew the audio. And I'm like, I'm all for it. I didn't know like she didn't like send me the email or she didn't send me the audio. But I'm like, I'm all for audio. Out of context, all that shit. Hey, put it out there. It's content, it's great content. And when you get to see a piece of JDF, now the other side of that coin is not a lot of people like, man, don't be putting that shit out. If he didn't put it out while he was living, why you putting it out while you going? Hey, to each his own. I want all the audio. I want all the JDF tapes to leak. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go through them all. And I want them date stamped.
I will introduce him.
Hey, Este in the goddamn... Look, guys, this is the undisputed pound for pound king of Power Ranger content. No lie. He takes small stories and digs into them and crank out some high quality videos, man. Este is the GOAT of Power Ranger content. Goated. Put some goddamn ESTEs in the chat. Where the E gang at? Put the E's in the chat for Este, man. Oh my goodness. Put them in the chat for Este. Going to PMC this weekend too. Man, great, man. Enjoy, have fun. We looking forward. Hey, cut a video on how it goes, man. Maybe on, I don't know. I got a lot of stuff going on. Put the E's in the chat for Este. Goated. We did do an interview on the channel. So you have that. You know what I'm saying? And he spoke his mind too. He spoke his mind. He spoke his mind. He was candid. Look, so shout out to Este. All right, let's go.
Again, like I told everyone.
You just have to release it. Who cares about the money? And I was like, well, the investors do. They care about it.
So there go me, right? Oh, investors, hey? You see that finger? I'm like, oh, investors. Guys, once you have investors, you kind of are beholden to them in some instances. And also, usually with investors, their last money in or first money in, first money out. If Chris J put in $2 million, if the film only generates $2 million, that money goes to Chris J. But, it could be different. I don't know their splits. I don't know what it's looking like, but let's keep it going.
And I was like, and there's certain things that, they come in and they want to invest. And the thing is, they don't have to invest and they're not the bad guys in the situation.
Now, here's the thing. Aaron is so long-winded, guys. So long-winded. Now, that's not like a slight to him, but some people are long-winded. Like me as an investigator, to the point. Answer the question in 3 seconds or less. 3 seconds or less. If no explanation is needed, just yes or no.
Will they make all their money back? I don't know, but they want to make sure they make obviously some of it back, obviously, but they also want to ensure Jason's legacy. So there's a fine line. People talk about films who have no idea how any of that works, and it's very complicated. But we would love to go theatrical because Jason wanted to go theatrical, and we would love to do that. Even if it's like I said, it's always been a plan to do a small release. But if a streamer comes in, because we've had early conversations with a lot of streamers, and if they want to offer us a profitable sum. Which me and Chris, who's the executive producer, we would be really ecstatic about that because not only would he make back his money, but also then some money would go to the, Frank estate, which we'd be really excited about because I would love to see Tammy and Jenna be taken care of a little bit, through Jason's legacy. Because obviously, they get nothing from Hasbro or Saban or Boom or anything like that. So it's kind of like you have to wait and see.
And here we go, right? Someone Nerd Talk knows, hey, their best bet is to go with Fathom Events. I've seen plenty of movies, low budget movies through Fathom Events. Now the tickets are a little bit more pricier than normal, but you're about to get to see like something, relatively exclusive. Also, if the film is so good, you want to get that shit in like Sundance Film Festival. You want to, try to get your film there. Any local film festivals, that's what you want to try to do to kind of build buzz. There have been plenty of small budget films that blew up at a film festival that got big bucks behind them.
beginning, we were a little naive, and the project was much smaller. So that's why we.
Let me stop this. We got some heavy hitters in the chat. Montyverse. Deoxy is one of the kindest people in the space. He didn't deserve all this nonsense. That's a truthful statement.
That's a truthful statement.
That is a truthful statement, man. I felt so bad when I saw him go at Deoxy. I'm like, bro, Deoxy don't bother nobody. He cut a video pointing out some inaccuracies, some inconsistencies, some omissions, however you want to talk about it. And look, he doesn't even do drama like that. He like, man, I do that. I'm back to Boom Boominger.
Said certain release dates and different things that have now kind of got us caught up in these different things. But the movie was funny. One person was like, I know the movie's done. Release it right now. Like Aaron's just holding on to it to milk it, which I don't know how I would be.
Look, this is whole milking thing. You can say milking it for attention, but I don't know about the milking it for money.
Milking it. I think like there's no profit.
Yeah, I think so that what happens is that this, and you guys could correct me if I'm wrong. It started as a Kickstarter, which was way smaller than what it was. Started as a Kickstarter, got bigger. Jason passed. Now there's more pressure because now it's like, it's his last film. People are investing. People want it to mean something. Now you're also adding in, there's documentaries happening. There's this happening. There's people reaching out, and you have a lot of pressure. And unfortunately, you know, the delays saying, hey, it's going to come out this year and this year and this year. Boom, boom. make you a target, makes it a target to like be made fun of, or people thinking that it's not going to happen. So before we answer that, one of you, let me acknowledge Laura. Hugs and love to you, Aaron.
Hugs to Laura, man. Look, guys, Francis is my greatest, student for following the stream module thing.
Aaron, you're doing a good job.
So
that's very kind. Thank you, Laura.
So to be fair, you do have a fiduciary responsibility to the investors to get as much money as you possibly can for the movie. Is that correct?
Yes, but it's correct.
That shows, hey, he has to go to the biggest bid. Now, here's the thing, right? If there is no bidding war and you see it on his channel on Patreon, now he does seem very confident, but I asked that question because he said Amy Jo Johnson was only doing it for the money. Now, you can say what you want about that, if she is or she not, but now because he does have investors, a piece of them, whatever percentage of it, it has to be about the money. I'm not giving you $2 million on the minimum for you to give me back 1.5.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. But also, like most investors in Hollywood are greedy jerks, and they will gut the movie or make decisions that are purely financial. And our executive producer, who has invested millions into the movie, is that Chris J? Okay, that's me doing my research, dog. I had everything planned out, guys. Yeah, he's invested millions into it, plural. And so he is happy with just breaking even. I mean, he is okay with even having a little bit of a loss. He preferred to obviously make a profit. We all would, so Jen and Tammy could make some. But his main goal, unlike a lot of Hollywood producers, you know, they just want to greed, money. Who cares? He wants to, and just like, which was so nice, Francis, at the end of the interview we did, you said, you know, thank you for loving Jason, because you saw how many people used him and didn't really love him.
Okay. This is like a long-winded answer, like, bro.
I tell Chris that all the time, because Chris, you know, grew up being a big Power Ranger fan, and he saw Saban and Boom and Hasbro take advantage of him and never appreciate him. And he's like, I'm going to believe in Jason all the way, and I want to make his vision come true. So he's all in. If we can make some money back, great. That's wonderful. We have to at least try for that. But we're not going to sacrifice quality of the movie, and we're not going to rush quality of the movie based upon some sort of financial, profit or anything like that. So it's a fine balance, and you can vilify a lot of people in that process. But if you really know what is actually going on, it's like, to say, you know, that we're sitting on it or not working on it is, you know, me and Chris have these conversations about some of the fans getting mad at us, and we're like, all we do, like, Chris's blood pressure is through the roof. You know, people like see me like, whoa, Aaron, looks like you've aged 10 years in 4 years. And I was like, all we do is work on this movie. Like, this movie is so important to us that it is perfect and it's great. And, you know, it's not going to be some giant Marvel movie that makes, you know, $100 million or anything, or look like $100 million. But, you know, we're hoping it to look a little above CW, even though, you know, some of their budgets are higher than ours. Some of them are not. So the quality is the most important thing.
And this is me, like, I don't want to interrupt them. So, like, you know, when you're doing this, you on someone else's channel, you know, be respectful of Francis' channel. Don't go there acting an asshole. Okay. Yeah. To be fair, would you guys take a loss to get in front of a bigger audience? Would you say, hey, we'll take a 50% loss or whatever percentage loss to get it above in front of the most amount of people possible? So like Netflix has 270 subs, whereas like Hulu has 50 million. If Hulu offers you a break-even point versus Netflix, who is going to offer you a loss, but they have about 5 times the amount of viewers, would you go with Netflix? Now he's going to exaggerate like Netflix will offer $1, but I'm just like, bruh, I want to know, because if this is on Netflix, maybe, and they say, hey, we took a loss, but we put it on Netflix. They have, it's a Netflix exclusive. Then I'm like, okay, I would say, hey, they did right by the fans. They took the L, but the most amount of people are going to see it. Much respect for that. But if, maybe Netflix, the money ain't there. Remember, you got investors. They want to get back. They want to get made whole.
Possibly. It depends. That's a really kind of loaded question. I see what you're saying, because you're saying, do the fans matter more than the money? And ultimately, yes. But it also depends. Like if Netflix is like, hey, we have 275 million subscribers, we're going to give you $1 for it. And Hulu's like, hey, we only have 50 million subscribers, we'll give you like 4 million for it. And you're like, well, we get help, because then you're like, well, you want to help the fans because that's what Jason wanted. But I'm like, but that 4 million, we'd have to be offered more. But it would, if you could help out his family or whatever, or you could use some of that money and donate it to charities. Like you have to look at like there's like a lot of different things that come into play there.
And who has the final decision maker? Is that you? Is it you and Chris J? Is it you, Chris J and Tammy? Like, is there a group that makes the final decision on the sale price?
There is a group. Yes.
How many people
that has this?
Just out of curiosity.
So it would be essentially Bat and the Sun and Chris, and then the Frank estate has a say to do in it as well.
Pat, this Chris, Frank estate. So that's what, 3 people? If three entities per se?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Are they weighted equally? So everyone owns 33%, or does Chris J have a bigger say because he invested way more?
No, and see, that's kind of the amazing thing about Chris is,
right. If I give you 2 million and other people, I might be like, no. I got 51% say, but it is what it is. You got a personal relationship with the guy. Cool. Can no one see me in chat? I see you. Oh, chat froze? Let me check. Test. Nope, I see you. Oh my God, y'all tripping. All right, let me acknowledge some contributors.
Acknowledge me.
Why is Chris' blood pressure up? If he's all in, not wanting to profit, why is he not worried? That's yeah, look, I don't know. Blake 8043, Henry, you were great. Good questions. Would love to hear Tammy and Jenna perspectives on Aaron, assuming they need money. Terrible, Aaron, terrible. Oh, yeah. What if they do? I don't know. I don't know their financial situation. I do know Tammy is selling her house, or the Frank family house. Maybe we can cover it after this.
A lot of times you come in with like, you're the sole investor, you get all the say because you have all the money. And Chris didn't demand that. He wanted, like when Jason was here, it was 1/3.
Okay.
So he wanted to be fair. He wanted to be fair to Jason, and he never wanted to feel, because Jason always felt like he had no control with Saban or Hasbro, and they ignored him. And Chris thought, Jason's ideas were great, and he never wanted to ever feel like Jason was being cast aside. Like,
Okay. Are we going to
yeah.
I'm like, hey, let's get to the deoxy shit.
Yeah, let me get to the yeah, we will. But let me ask this question from Intestified.
Because remember, this is not my channel. Like, I can't just jump to the deoxy. Whatever flow she got set up, that's the flow we on.
He said, hi. Was the ending changed with JDF's passing?
Not at all. Not at all. It's exactly as it was planned with. It was written with him.
Because you've read it online. We've all seen it. How people have said, "Well, you're milking it. You're changing the movie about you. You're adding more. If you're still filming after he's gone, it's because you're adding more parts of you. Are you changing the movie so the prequel and the sequel are about your character?" I think that's it's good to know that.
Hey, I said that shit. I was like, yeah. I mean, if I'm him, I gotta make sure my character live at the end. What if it's a smash hit? It's a smash hit.
Thing has changed despite his passing, because I think there was rumors or things going around that you're cutting Jason's parts down.
No, that was like almost like the one stipulation we went back and had to kind of.
That's actually a great question on Francis. But look, I said that shit. I'm like, bruh, if I'm him, I love JDF, but I'm like, Dragon Prime gotta live, bro. If this shit pop off. Yeah, I'm saying.
Appreciate the movie because we were still missing some stuff from it. Was to cut as little, if anything, of him in the movie. Like keep as much of Jason in the movie. And what people also should remember, because when they watch it, there's gonna be like, there's a lot of you too in it, Aaron. Which like in all the posters released, like the Boss Logic poster or the print on Sideshow, it's always both dragons.
Someone said, I'm curious how he's able to edit the movie and work on it full time if he's not making money off the movie, because he likely has a salary. I can imagine he has a salary. I don't know if the salary is coming from the investment, but he has a salary somewhere. Everyone has to earn money. His YouTube is not generating money. I don't think it is.
So the movie is very much about two people. When you watch it, Jason is clearly the star. Because like if you watch The Dark Knight, right? Like Batman's the star of the movie, but Joker's a really big part of that movie.
Yeah,
so, but you don't think?
Oh, I think Joker stole the movie from Batman, even though he had about I think 20 minutes screen time. Like I didn't want to get into no argument about Joker and Batman, but Batman, like I know about that Dark Knight movie. I haven't seen it about a million times. Joker is only on screen for 20 minutes, guys.
Yeah, well, I think Joker was just written and acted better. I don't think Christian was given a lot to dive into with those movies. I think Heath Ledger was so great, and I'm not comparing myself to Heath Ledger at all, but I'm just saying that when you have a superhero movie, the villain is also, he kind of defines the hero. So in a weird way, there's a lot of screen time of the villain, but he is purely building the hero's journey.
Okay, who has more?
But that was.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So that was always the intention. So when you watch it, they're like, "There's a lot of Aaron in this movie." And I'm like, "Well, that was always the plan. That was always what was written." So
you have more screen time than Jason in the movie, or who has more screen time?
It's pretty even. I haven't actually gone through and done the math on this, and I'm sure when it comes out, someone's gonna be like, "Aaron has a minute and a half more." He, whatever. I don't.
That's probably true, but as far as the social blade goes, this is what they're projecting. Sometimes these are way high, sometimes these are way low. I mean, his views stay pretty consistent. About 40,000 views today, 50,000, 50,000, 50,000. I'm not going. Let's see. All right. So for about 100,000 views every 2 days, I don't know, maybe $500. $500 times 15 for, what's that? About 5,500 a month, which right here. There we go. There you go. But not like 100K or anything like that. Let's keep it going.
Have never looked at that. So, but what I would say though is that I don't give any spoilers away, but my character is all about Eric Reed in it. So even my scenes are still building Eric and building his character and that sort of stuff. And that's what, all heroes are defined by their villains. So you can't have just kind of a lame villain that's just barely in it, because you need to have those steps.
Like yin and yang. It has to be together. It's yin and yang.
Yeah. But Jason also always wanted that for me. He always wanted it to be, because originally, here's some interesting drama, or not drama. That's not drama. Info. When we were working with Johnny Bosch, and I think Johnny wanted it.
Yo, this Isley Ira guy, he really has some disdain for Aaron.
He wanted to go get Austin, and then Jason's like, "No, I want Aaron to do it. I believe in Aaron. He's such a good Joker. I think he'd be a great villain for this." He's like, "Aaron, I want you to do it." So I was like, "Cool, if you believe in me." I was like, because if he was like, "No, Aaron,"
bro, Austin can't fucking act. Oh, I think Johnny Young Bosch wanted to get Austin,
and I'm gonna go, because originally I think Jason asked John Berthenol, because he was Berthenol. I said that right? He's friends with him. And he was like, "Hey, if he's like, Aaron, if we can get John, though, I think that'd be better." And I was like, "Yeah, get John."
I know, guys. A lot of people do not like when Aaron says JDF always wanted XYZ. I mean, there's no confirmation. I get it. It's always going to rub some people the wrong way. Now, if I was to pass and I was to have a funeral and y'all better be like, Henry always wanted his ex-wife not to be at his funeral, make sure y'all say that shit.
Do that, so, but that didn't work out. But it's always was a mutual thing as far as what Jason wanted and what I would think was best for the project and so forth. So it's like a very much a group choice of what we think's the best.
And I mean, it works a lot about, if you think about it, all these people, even after Jason passed, still came back, reshooted. They did, you guys reshot, you did ADR, Mark Dacascos, David Ramsey, everybody came back. And, you can say that Mark Dacascos and David Ramsey are bigger names, right? And they came back, and it speaks a lot about the love of Jason, and also with you, right? Because if you were like this person that wasn't honest, or a good person, or someone that had a good connection with people, then they wouldn't come back. It's done. The star is gone. You know what I mean? And that speaks volumes, I think. So I know that you're on limited time, and so
all right, now we're about to get to it, guys.
So I want to get through what happened, right? What happened in the last 24 hours with the Deoxy interview, because I think you were basically called a liar, and that I can imagine how that affects people, especially when that.
Bro, people call me a liar all the goddamn time. Shout out to the I Hate Henry Ninja watching group.
You don't feel like you're lying, and especially when people kind of just go out and attack, kind of, right? I don't think Deoxy, to be honest, I don't think Deoxy attacked you. I think he just had, like receipts. You know, he's like, wait, that didn't happen. Or he feels that didn't happen, or this was that, or this and that. And I think that there's a lot of things that weren't clear. And I think today we should just leave them clear and it's done, right?
Well, I mean,
yeah, ask away. Go ahead. Rapid fire, Mike, with these questions. What I would say about the Oxford quicker is that I don't mind people coming to their own conclusions as long as, and I posted this somewhere, as long as your goal is for communication, understanding of a situation. And
dude, no one has to have a goal of communication, understanding. No one has to, whatchamacallit. Francis, why you dropped the ball? Johnny Young Bosch did add Austin enjoying Legend of the White Dragon, which ASJ has mentioned in convention Q&As. Yeah, it's true. But let's not interrupt Aaron as he talks about this is basically like, if you talk about me, I should be able to come on your platform. Which that's no one's doing that. Well, I mean,
yeah, ask away. Go ahead. Rapid fire, Mike, with these questions. What I would say about the Oxford quicker is that I don't mind people coming to their own conclusions as long as, and I posted this somewhere, as long as your goal is for communication, understanding of a situation, and not taking certain facts and building a toxic, hateful environment. Which is why I reached out to him. I was like, hey, if you have any questions,
when you start a toxic, hateful environment, that let some people tell it that's Discord.
You want to ask me, and I'm a big fan of just talk to me. I'll explain everything, and everything's cool. And then when you like ignore and then repost and retweet other things, I was like, well, it seems like your goal is not for understanding and information; it's to build a like a negative rapport. And I was like, well, I don't like that. Like,
dude, no one has to have a positive rapport. Like, trust me, if TMZ was running a story on Bat in the Sun, they would reach out, but they're still going to run the story. They don't care about the rapport. But what happens is people think they're bigger than they are. He may have some deference at PMC because he's doing Legend of the White Dragon, Jason's last film. But if that film was not coming out, or if it came out, maybe if it was not coming out, would they invite him?
Would you do that? But that would be my like, oh, just talk to me. But I saw something like that. He was playing on the line. He's like, look what he's doing. And someone's like, why didn't you just respond to him and talk to him? And I was like, yeah, why didn't you just do that?
Well, one, he doesn't owe you a response. And two, you did threaten a lawyer if he didn't interview. Is that correct?
Yeah. That's how, a lot of people, I don't think understand that's how that works. And
now, guys, he's trying to little bro you. That's not how it works. Look at all the videos on Mr. Beast. How many content creators have been threatened with a lawyer? Only one. And what did the guy do? He said, F off, Mr. Beast. If you get outside the Power Ranger sphere and cover, like, you can go into bigger content creators, when people call you a liar, unless they say like something like overtly false, no mention of lawyers, especially on YouTube.
In the industry, so like that's the advice I get from the lawyer. Because basically, if someone is calling you a liar or whatever, it's best to say, hey, my lawyer's going to reach out. Now, someone put out the word sue or whatever, which I didn't say that. But what happens, a lawyer will reach out and be like, hey, it's basically like a mediator to make sure that things don't escalate. Although people, I think, young fans don't know that's kind of how it works in the industry. Okay,
young fan, like, guys, come on, man. You at this point, we're all older, right? We all know how things work, or at least you have the internet. You could figure it out. This is about where I'm about to say, hey, what was false? So, do you feel like Deoxy lied about you?
His headline is Bat in the Sun lied ? And then if you read all the comments, everyone just is agreeing with him that I'm like garbage.
Is that a yes or a no? Like, do you think Deoxy lied about you?
I think he used information to betray things that were incorrect.
Is that yes or no? I'm like, all right, this is me going on because he doesn't want to say no. Okay, this is like, you asked a direct question. Now, if he was just on my stream, I'm like, bro, I need a yes or a no from you. I need a yes or a no. I don't need an explanation. Did Deoxy lie on you? Yes or no? Well, I feel like he did this. Dude, if we were in court, the judge would say, can you answer the question? I know this because I was in court and my ex was trying to give like some explanation. It was like, ma'am, it's yes or no. So this is why I ask yes or no questions, because they hold up in court. Hey, did Deoxy lie on you? Yes or no? Because if he says no, case over. If he says yes, then you say, well, where did he lie on you at? So this whole explanation, and I just moved on because I'm like, this Francis channel, I don't want to like just take over like this and just be like, dude, I need a yes or a no from you. Because I'm like, did he lie on you? Yes or no? And you ask him that right now today. Did Deoxy lie on you? He'll give you an explanation. He won't say yes. He won't say no, because the answer is he did not lie on this guy. But he wants to paint the picture as, oh, well, he painted me in a false light, dude. I was going crazy inside, but it's Francis. She's smiling. You should ask Francis, like, hey, did Deoxy lie on him? Yes or no? Let's go to another question. What did he say was false? Because you posted specifically that, and I could read the post. Now, here's the thing where like the whole Francis comes into play, where you can basically show the where you can show the post, right? So because people are on the outside who are watching a stream that has no idea that this is the post that I was referencing. Hey, this video is full of false info and edited my interview, so a lot of details were missing. So this is why I'm like, hey, what is false? What details were missing? Because if you say this, then you should be like, oh, well, this is false, and this is false. Now he pulled the wool over some of y'all head, a lot of y'all heads with the, oh, I didn't watch the video, you know, I don't know off the top of my head. And he's smiling. I'm like, oh God, post, or I could share the post. You said there are a lot of talkers and haters online. This guy posted a video full of false info and edited my interview, so a lot of details were missing. So what was false in his video and what details from your interview were missing? It's kind of like a two-part question. These are direct questions, guys. These are direct questions. Direct questions. What is false? Hey, what is false? This is where you can be like, okay, this is false at this timestamp, because we've covered it. We've covered it. If you've been on my channel for a while, the Mizkif defamation lawsuit, we've covered it. You need to have a false statement, but he can't say the false statement. Question.
So, okay, so I'd have to go back and watch it again.
Oh, God,
I watched it, and bro, I'm very busy on this.
I'm very busy, but I make plenty of time to make sure I'm messaging Deoxy for, you know, throughout the day to take the video down, to edit the video. I've got Twitter fingers on the middle of the night. I'm going live in the middle of the night for an hour to say, hey, I'm about to go to the gym. I'm very busy, guys. This is cap.
Stop the cap.
Stuff. I know it's like a big deal to you guys. I know it seems like a really.
So now he's trying to little bro me. It's a big deal to you guys, but it means nothing to me. But I'm about to threaten a lawyer.
A really big deal. You guys like think about it all the time. I don't. So
you think about it all the time, like, this is driving me crazy. You see my face. You see my face. You see my face. Really, 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 really. We thinking about it all the time. You message him.
He said like a lot of stuff he said about Boom and Hasbro and Amy and stuff that I posted, like that stuff was just all like a lot of information was missing, and like he took out a lot of the story. So I have to read the comments again. I try to respond to them.
He has to read the comments again, not watch the video again, because he's more concerned about the comment section than the content in the video. And that's what a lot of people do. Hey, well, what the comments are saying this. Who cares what the comments are saying? What did the goddamn video say? I got to read the comments again. Like, oh my guy.
Because I live in the moment because I'm busy doing stuff. That's why I respond.
And if this was ever to go farther, I would definitely reach out to my bigger YouTube friends and be like, hey, can y'all do a solid for me and cover this for Deoxy
really quick, because I'm present.
So you didn't watch the video. So did you watch his video? Okay. So
yeah, I did.
You watched his video, but you don't know off the top of your head what was false or what was missing from your original that he manipulated. You see that like, oh shit, he is really not letting me up. Now France is about to bail his ass out, and I'm about to be so pissed off at this bailout because I have him on the ropes. Look, I just keep pressing. Hey, what's false? What's missing? What's false? What's missing? What's false? What's missing? He can't say anything. Some details. I gotta go read the comment section. You like, dude, the video is what you're talking about. You can't be like, oh, well, they're making comments about me. The video. What's in the video? Oh.
If you ask me the questions, like I said, it had to do with stuff about Amy. Okay, it had to do stuff about like Jason not like, oh, he was credited, but I'm like, but he wasn't really credited.
Okay. So, whoa. He wasn't really credited. Wait, what? Hey. Let's back it up. Let's back it up. There's a big difference between wasn't credited and wasn't really credited, guys. So you didn't watch the video. So did you watch his video? Okay. So
yeah, I did.
You watched his video, but you don't know off the top of your head what was false or what was missing from your original that he manipulated. Now keep in mind, last night, hours before the interview, I said, hey, I'm going to ask these two questions. I'm going to ask these questions. I hope you have your answer ready. I said that. But, you know, here we are.
If you ask me the questions, like I said, it had to do with stuff about Amy. Okay, it had to do stuff about like Jason not like, oh, he was credited, but I'm like, but he wasn't really credited.
Okay, so
it was like, that
yes,
kind of stuff.
Start with that.
Ask me questions. Like, go to the whole video and ask me.
You stated that JDF was not credited for Soul of the Dragon. In your interview, that was a correct statement. Bam! That's it. It's done. You stated he was not credited. It's over. It's game over. Okay, we could pack it up. We got him. He admitted that he said JDF was not credited. Deoxy showed that JDF was credited. Game over. Look, if this was to go to a lawsuit, and they showed this video as evidence that, hey, he said he was not credited, let's keep it going. However, Deoxy unearthed proof that Jason was credited. So would that make your original statement a lie?
No. So
now look, he was not going to say he lied, but now he's about to try to say like, well, I should have said something.
What I was saying in the original is that Jason was not created as being a co-creator of the project. And for those people,
you see me like, whoa, co-creator never fucking came up in the original interview. Did it? Did co-creator come up? The answer is nope. No.
The industry, what?
You did no. If you're saying if now you're trying to switch your original interview to, hey, he wasn't credited as a co-creator, that's different from saying he was not credited at all. Because now you're misleading fans to think that, hey, they just stole this idea from Jason. And then without Deoxy putting out this video, I don't think we'll have this interview where you're saying, oh, he wasn't credited as a co-creator. You see it? You see it? I got him. But Francis is about to bail him out. And she's like, well, let's move on to this email. And I'm like, no. We need his response.
So I probably left that out, and that was my mistake. And
I probably left. Oh, no, dude. I was like, wait. But you got all these people in the chat like, oh no, just leave him alone. He's like, dude, no. Like, look, guys, when people slip up, I'm there. I'm like fucking Allstate. You're in good hands now. I caught you. I got you. Because now you're misleading fans to think that, hey, they just stole this idea from Jason. And then without Deoxy putting out this video, I don't think we'll have this interview where you're saying, oh, he wasn't credited as a co-creator.
So I probably left that out, and that was my mistake. And I should have said that he co-created. But when I was talking about it, because the whole topic was about how, don't roll your eyes, Henry.
I'm just saying, you said he's a liar, and I'm like, well, he didn't lie in his video. His video's true.
But here.
Now here's Francis. She's about to come. Like, well, he was like, we were talking about creators. I'm like, no. You can't say he wasn't credited and then say, hey, we were talking about creator credit. It don't work like that. That don't hold up. You can't expect someone to infer what you meant.
Here's how you're misportraying the truth. When me and Francis had the conversation, we were talking about how Boom stole ideas that we created, and I go, Jason wasn't credited. So what happens is if you just go, Jason wasn't credited, you're like, well, he got credit. And I was like, but if you take that first part out where I was talking about how we created it and he wasn't credited for it.
That part is in the video. It's in the video.
I go, then it looks like I'm lying, but I wasn't lying. You just took part of what I was saying. And that's the point I'm saying. So when we talked on there, I said that
but we didn't like, we should have went back right then and there. If I was in control, like, hey, let's go watch the video. Hey, it has the part in there where it says y'all wasn't credited. What are you talking about? We can, where's it at? Where's it at? Let me make sure. Let's go back to Deoxy video. He just said, oh, he cut out the part where he said we wasn't credited. Let's go back to Deoxy video. This is Deoxy's video. All right, this is Deoxy's video. Let's see what was cut out. What was in there?
This Rise of the Emerald Dragon comic book or idea, it was stolen from Boom Studios and Kyle Higgins, that they turned into Soul of the Dragon.
So, and then the dragon thing happened, and that all fell apart, and Jason was frustrated with that. And I was like, let's go back to let's just pitching the comic book again. So then we ended up speaking to Bryce over at Boom, and we were like, hey, let's make Legend of the Emerald Dragon a thing. And they were like, we like this old man Tommy thing, which is what Jason always said. And we started developing it over there. And then they brought on Kyle to write the story. And then we were going to get credited and all that kind of stuff because it was our story. And then the day of, they reached out to me and Jason and said, hey, we're going to press and we're going to announce the book tomorrow, but we have legally changed the story just enough to where we don't have to credit you guys. and then we're dropping it from and
that was Soul of the Dragon, correct?
And that was Soul of the Dragon, yes.
Now, if you own a copy of Soul,
all right, so they're going again. Like, oh, he cut that part out. No, that part was in there, brother.
Created a bunch of this stuff, and Jason wasn't credited for it. He was credited as a consultant, which also, just to put into reference real quick, in the industry, when people are labeled as a consultant, that's like you being written off as if you haven't really done anything.
But yeah, as we fans, we're taking this at face value. If you say he wasn't credited and you don't come back to say, hey, he wasn't credited as a co-creator, then we're right, and we're weaponized against Boom Comics to think, hey, they just stole this shit from a lot of people's favorite hero, a lot of people's favorite Ranger.
Right, but okay, so here Francis brought up an email.
You see, hey, this is deflection. Francis brought up an email. Let's go to the email. I love how it's to Aaron and not to like JDF, but maybe he's managing JDF, maybe he's handling all the shit for JDF, but it's to Aaron. So this is where it's like, okay, well, let me clarify what I really meant when I said he wasn't credited.
I think, right?
Yeah. So you know what happened was we were talking, right? We were talking, flowing. I personally knew what Aaron was talking about because I knew that Jason had more of an effect, more of just a consultant in Soul of the Dragon. But you know, we didn't go in depth. We were just talking. We're trying to get through all the points, but I understood that, right?
But we didn't understand. And I've talked to Francis about this behind the scenes. Like, you can't be like, well, I knew what Aaron meant. Deoxy didn't know. He just said Jason wasn't credited. And we like, wait, he was credited.
But I understand where Henry's coming from because it makes it seem like he wasn't credited at all. So of course you go to the back of Soul of the Dragon and there is of course a credit as a consultant. And you know, the good thing that Aaron speaks about, hey, like the day before it came out, I got an email and they basically said that they weren't going to credit, you know, Aaron and Jason, and that they were going to give Jason, and this is the email, they only gave Jason let's say a BS to me, right? A BS credit because they didn't want to get on Jason's bad side. At the end of the day, if Jason would have been like, hey, I worked on Soul of the Dragon and I didn't get not one credit, people would have probably lost their minds. And let me just go through the email. It says, hi, Aaron. Thanks for checking in. A quick update on the OGN. The book, which has been titled Power Rangers Soul of the Dragon, has significantly changed shape over the last several months and become something wholly unique, a story about Tommy Oliver that explores all of the... Did I skip something? A story about
Tommy Oliver. That's what the story was all about. They changed it to what our pitch was A story about Tommy Oliver that explores all of the different...
I mean, I'm only playing this for like, you know, like you cut out the part with the email. Like, bruh, look, you can however you want to spin it, just try to make it look like they took it, whatever. JDF didn't like the credit. That's fine and dandy, but the fact remains, in your original video, you said he was not credited. That's a clear-cut fact. Now you come back and say, well, he didn't like the way he was credited. That's completely different from he didn't like how he was credited. Now, I don't really got no beef against Aaron other than the fact that he came at Deoxy. Can he have some redemption? Probably. I mean, Legend of White Dragon, if it does great, is him.
Different Ranger personas he's assumed over the years.
Where's the other one?
Considering how far this project has evolved and how new and unique it has become, Boom has an obligation to reflect those changes in the crediting of the series. This means that we will be focusing on the primary creative staff only. That said, in all transparency, we'll likely reach out to Jason David Frank to discuss likeness, which could result in some kind of specific credit to be determined. Suffice it to say, I'm not going to read the whole thing, but suffice it to say, I want to thank you for your passion. Please know that the door remains open for future Power Rangers discussions as well as other kinds of creative. To me, this means that you had obviously they spoke to you guys, which
I mean, some kind of special credit to be determined.
I mean, you and I know, and I know Jason has spoken, there's countless interviews where Jason speaks about, going and giving these ideas and then never getting credit or then never getting anything out of it. So here they're saying they're only giving Jason credit because of his likeness, not because of the input that he put in the Soul of the Dragon.
This would have been great
and
if it was in the interview.
But you're right. Here's an actual text from Jason that you can see right here if you want to screen.
So this is where he's like, well, Jason didn't like the credit, the way he was credited. Not that he was not credited.
Shot or whatever, and I'll read it to you.
Let me see if I can zoom in.
I'll say, still pissed they took our names off it. It was us who went to Boom to get it started. And Jason replies, they put my name on the front cover like some BS consulting to sell books.
You can put it
did
up
the same thing. Amy. There you go.
So Bat and the Sun, still pissed they took our names off the book when it was us who went to Boom to get it started. They put my name on front cover like some BS consultant to sell books. They did that to Amy on the Big 25th yearbook. That whatever, tired of all this free-ish. Oh, really? Don't trust Brian. Goddamn. Now look, guys, let me stop kicking Aaron's back in for a second, for a split second, and give him some grace. I know what it's like personally to have your ideas stolen from you and not credited. It happened to me before. I felt like I was so pissed. I wanted to scorch earth. I wanted to scorch earth. I kid you not. And then I talked to my uncle, and he was like, nephew, I'm like, Unc, they stole my idea. They won't even give me credit for it. I get like a VIP to this event, but they stole my shit. And he like, nephew, don't worry about it. Your ideas was for the people, right? And I'm like, yeah, but I wanted the people to know it was my idea. He's like, nah, that ain't the way to go about it. It was for the people. You deliver to the people. Now they're going to continue to do the event that you created every year. But you ain't going to get credit. It's all good, but it's, for the greater good. I was young. I was not feeling that shit at all. I was not feeling that at all. But, I get it. But it could be different for Aaron if they pitch him an idea, like as in Soul of the Dragon. And then they're like, this is a great concept. Great concept, Bat and the Sun. Great concept, JDF. And then they take your shit. And they say, well, you gave us the concept, but we changed the story 100%. But we gonna give JDF his credit for his likeness. That is low. I would be pissed. But at the end of the day, on Boom's side, say you did give us the concept and you gave us a crappy story. And we like the concept, but we don't like the story that came with the concept. We think it'll be better if we go in this direction. And because of we're not using your story and we're going to use JDF's likeness, we're going to give him a special consultant credit. We took none of the Bat and Sun story. But here we go. This is me giving Aaron some grace on them taking the concept and legally changing the story. Because that's likely 100% probably what happened. That's why you got to be very careful when you start telling people your ideas, especially in the entertainment industry. Hey, I got this cool idea. Let's go to it. Now let's get to the last part, the licensing agreement. Then I'll show you my questions that I had planned right here. So this was the whole, he was upset about this Bat and the Sun not getting credited. This was part of the whatchamacallit. Like, hey, you're upset Bat and the Sun didn't get credited. They wasn't credited, but if they bought if you licensed it to Hasbro, right? You licensed it to Hasbro, probably in perpetuity. See, he like, oh shit, yeah, you're right. If you license it to Hasbro, so they can use it for forever, right?
To the game. So we license it to I believe it's actually Lionsgate who owns that game.
Okay. So
that's actually I think how it gets. I think it's so long ago now I forget, but that's how it works out.
So if they took your idea and didn't credit you, you could technically sue them, correct? Or is it because they got the license from Hasbro, who did pay you for the idea, that they don't have to talk to you to use the?
I don't know. I'm not a big fan of suing people. I've never done it. I don't want to do that.
I've never done it, but we get the lawyers involved when people are saying stuff that are false, even though it's not false. Yeah, okay, Aaron.
Because they say that when Confucius say if you seek revenge off someone, prepare 2 graves, one for the person you're seeking revenge off on yourself. So I'm not a big fan of actually like doing that. I showed my lawyers all the stuff about the Green Ranger costume, Soul the Dragon, and the lawyer was like, yeah, you can sue them. He goes, you're not going to get any money out of it because comics make so little money.
This is true. Now, I wonder, did he show the license agreement? Because the license agreement was so old, and then they start using it. Hey, I forgot I got the license agreement. You never know.
And he's like, it's going to end up costing you so much money. And I was like, I don't really want to do that. And it's just a lot of time. I'd rather just create positive things than do that. My biggest thing is and recently what's kind of funny is that Boom even reached out to me recently they were doing a Kickstarter and they want to put a lot of Jason stuff in there. And I said, just credit Jason. I go, just credit Jason. And they were like, no, we can't do that. And I was like, why? We don't want any money, like no money. Just give him the credit. You can even leave me out of it. I don't care. Like, I just want my friend to be acknowledged for his love and passion for these projects that he is clearly affected. And so that's what I'm saying. It's very dodgy.
Dude, it's business. I said it. I said it in this interview. It's business, man. It ain't personal. Now, is it a nice gesture to credit him? Absolutely. You can say, look, man, we're going to credit you for this. And, it's great. It'll go on to do fine. But if the relationship with Kyle has soured or anything like that, I mean, they don't got to credit you for shit. They're like, dude, you sold it to Hasbro a while ago. Okay. You licensed it to him in perpetuity. Now we have access to anything Hasbro has. So it's like, this is where that entitlement, you could say, it comes into play. But this is more nuanced than the whole credit versus not credit. On one end, credit in JDF could have been a nice gesture. On the other hand, they doing business like, no, we're trying to get away from the JDF stuff. Okay. All right.
And
does
actually,
that make sense? Did that make sense? Are you happy with that answer?
I mean, I would love to know this to the extent of how much Hasbro owns of the image, because the way it was explained to me that Boom has access to everything that Hasbro owns. So if you license them I don't know that I'm trying not to get too much up in contracts, but if you license that iteration of the Green Dragon to Hasbro in perpetuity or for a specific amount of years, in perpetuity means for forever, guys, years. And Boom is working with Hasbro and they can use any Power Ranger design as they see fit, then technically they would not have to credit you or credit Jason because they got the license.
And that's true. And that's true. And there's nothing, I don't think there's anything untrue about that. What I would say is, and this is just among people, is when I reached out to the people at Boom and I said, hey, you're using our design. It looks super cool. Can you send us some comics? Can you give us credit? And for them to be like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like, you can say, hey, we're not going to credit you because we legally don't have to. But everyone.
Hey, that is a tough thing to tell somebody. That's when you know it's business.
Was loving the design. It's so cool. Like, great job. And be like, all right, just the total blow off. And then speak to Dan. And Dan's like, no, he totally told me to do that. And I was like, well, like, why? It just adds to all the shadiness and dodginess that Boom, Hasbro's always done.
What Aaron was saying, like, it wasn't about money. It wasn't like, pay me for the costume or whatever. It's about acknowledgement. And I think what Aaron is saying, right? What I know Aaron is saying is that Jason was very about appreciation of, getting the pat in the back, and he never got that.
Yeah.
That costume, like I said, that I don't want to say costume, but that design was probably the most cosplayed Ranger right after you guys introduced it, right? And it was even more so than the original Green Ranger. And I think what was important is like Jason wanted acknowledgement, thank you from Hasbro, Saban, whoever, like, because you're so relevant, Jason. You're such a iconic character that you built this, and that was never the case. That never happened. And I think that now, I heard people saying, well, Jason didn't hate Lord Draken. No, he didn't. I know that, he did not hate Lord Draken at first, right?
Correct.
Because that he saw Lord Draken as the opportunity of coming now and being like, they're going to give him something for him to work on, a more adult theme, something better. And that didn't happen. And they strung him along, and then it didn't happen. And while it not happening, I believe he resented the character. And it's not something that everyone's hearing new from my mouth or Aaron's mouth. It's something that he obviously shared. If you go back and scroll through Jason's social media, the last post with anything Lord Dragon was in 2020. Like, he just wiped everything out of that character because he resented the character, not because he hated the character. Not because the character was bad or watu It was because it was another thing that he made popular with the Shattered Grid.
Oh, 100%.
That later he did not get any appreciation. Didn't get any appreciation for it. So, you know what I mean? Like, it's not that Aaron is speaking for Jason. They were out there.
All right, we get it. Now here, I'll show you guys my my questions that I had for him, and then I'll start bringing people up. So here is the questions that I wrote or whatever. Let's make it bigger. Aaron Bat in the Sun, 25 theory. Like, this is like me like summarizing his answers because I knew I was going to do like content for it after. He says, flights, hotel, roughly $1 million. They're going to put it in 25 theaters and to get people to show up at premieres. Like, I never built the movie. I have no idea. I have no idea. Schedule a conflict. This was his sandwich reading. This was some fan questions that like people were asking me, like, can you hire someone for Legend of the White Dragon Instagram to give updates? He joked about doing a Kickstarter and said it's like $500 a week or something. $500. Yeah, $500 a week. So it's like $2,000 a month. It's a lot. So, there's no marketing budget. When can people who did the Kickstarter get the rewards? I was impressed that the rewards that were available that didn't involve JDF were fair. I like that. Will there be a Blu-ray? I'm sure he would love to. Pops went out. T-shirts went out. No scripts are out due to the video not being out. I believe Francis may have some contact information for you. To mail your stuff to, like if you didn't get it. So I was impressed with that. So, he's making good on the Kickstarter. Why did you call me scared? Like, guys, he said I was scared when most of the people you interviewed you react to or criticize you. Look, guys, I never insulted him. So he's like, I only reached out to people who insulted me. I don't think that's true. But, a lot of people be ducking the smoke. It's fine, they'll get put in the hot seat, and it is what it is. Deoxy lied about what explicitly? Mute point. Deoxy did not know. that was his rebuttal. He didn't know about the Kyle Higgins audio. But Deoxy didn't lie, guys. I'll take that. I'll die on that hill. Why does it have to be on his Why do the interviews have to be on his platform? I meant to ask that question. If Deoxy does not give you an interview, are you going to use Kickstarter for lawyer fees, or will it be Indiegogo? I never got around to this question. I never got around to it. But that was one of the questions. We touched on fiduciary responsibility that he has to his investor, Chris J. Now, are all investors aware you're threatening legal action against people who criticize you? And he said, yes, they support what I'm doing. They support how I go about promoting the film. And I was just like, wait, what? No way. I can't see Tammy like, yeah, get on that Deoxy. I can't see it. I can't see Chris J like, yeah, get on that Henry Resilient guy. Threaten those legal fees. Tell him you're going to send the lawyer who does the interview. I just can't see it. I can't see it. What is it? What info is false? What details are missing? Investors support him. That's all I wrote was investors support him. Why did you tell Deoxy 360 interview with you, or you have lawyers at him to foster communication, allegedly? I'm like, bro. Oh my goodness. Who owns Bat in the Sun? That's irrelevant now. We do have the 3 entities that own it. Why will there not be a theatrical release? We touched on that. Fathom is a great place to go through for low budget films. Who was going to distribute the movie? Who was the distributor launching the movie theaters? Any thoughts on Fathom Events? We asked that. Now, this whole Amy Jo Johnson thing, like he said he had no idea that she was behind a return. I just got to call cap on that. Everyone knew she was making a goddamn return. I'm not going to play the part where he's like, oh, I was just going at Boom. I'm like, bro, you were going at Amy Jo. And you went at her like more than once. But records show he was credited. This is a statement, not a question. Have you ever threatened other legal action? Is there a way? And in a way, that's this was a good one. In a way, this is a good one. If you go out there, right? Now, Boom would never fucking sue Aaron. If you go out there and you say Jason was never credited by Boom Comics for Soul of the Dragon, you're defaming Boom, right? So imagine like fans start boycotting Boom. Like, you never credited Jason on Soul of the Dragon. They experience some losses because Aaron has a huge following, which, you know, we know he doesn't. Then they could go after him for defaming them because it's a false statement. Also, I mean, we talked about the licensing agreement. Technically, Boom did not reach out to Bat in the Sun to use his design. Jason's ideas were stolen. If you have a legitimate proof, why was no legal action ever brought up? When can people who donated to Kickstarter get rewarded? So those are all my questions. I thought they were good. I don't know how people thought about the interview. Some people loved it. Some people hated it. It is what it is. With that out the way, let's start bringing people up. I'll try to give everyone like 5 minutes. Okay. Try to give everyone like 5 minutes. Let's see who's back here. Let's see who clicked the liggity link. Oh, it looks like just our guy, Augusto Andres, who dropped 5 memberships. I don't know where's whatchamacallit? Where's Drew? He was like, I want to come up. I'm like, if you want to come up, then I couldn't bring Drew up, guys, because I didn't have control of the whole stream. But I know Brent said he has Brent was going off on him. Anywho, let me make sure I got all my stuff loaded. Give me a second. All right, yeah, bring that over there. Oh, we got some heavy hitters. So since Angel Pest, I see Angel Pest, so we're gonna go Augusto Andres, Heirloom, Angel Pest. In that order, everyone is going to get some time to get some clock per se. Let me I gotta set something up to make sure you have something to look at, goddamn it. You know what I'm saying? So you're not just up here like, hey, what's going on? Give me a second. All right. Whoa! Look, we got somebody who was explicitly told not to come on my goddamn platform back here. I saw it. I was like, yo. All right. Look. All right. I'm going to try to get through everybody. I appreciate everyone watching.